A lot of people would look at me and say that I live a perfect life. From the outside, perhaps I do. But what most don't realise is that I actually suffer. I suffer daily. My mind is like a highway. I'm manic, and then I'm depressive, and it's this constant internal battle. One that's actually really difficult for me to share. I'm 32 years old and I've spent more than half of my life on antidepressant medication. There's such a dark and grimy stigma attached to the use of medication to combat mental disorders. And so in looking to surpass the current record and undertake a world first, I want all those who too suffer like me to know that a part of this record actually belongs to you. I'm doing it for you guys because I genuinely want to help. My name is Jack Thompson and I am a professional ultracyclist in that cycling is essentially my job now. I live in Girona, Spain as of 12 months ago, and while it's been a turbulent year, I wanted to complete a challenge that was going to test me. A lot of my challenges to date have been around climbing and doing climbs multiple times, and so in looking to do something different, I decided that I wanted to try and break a world record. And the world record that I'm here to break is the 7-day world record. So the most number of kilometres I can ride in 7 days. The current record sits at 3,333 and I want to hit 3,500. It's going to be hard, but I think it's doable. I'm confident. The boys I've got with me are good mates from Girona. Zippy's from Ireland and Miqui is Catalan. So he's from up in the Girona area where we've come from. And for me, the important thing about the team is that they're good fun to be around, they're reliable, and I can trust them. Because while I'm on the road riding, they'll essentially be making decisions for me on what I'm gonna eat for dinner that night, and just get me ready for the next day on the bike. So in these two guys, I have a lot of confidence, and there's no one else other than my old man who normally accompanies us, but there's no one else I'd prefer to have with me by my side. So we're here in Sanlúcar de Barrameda, 100 kilometres south of Sevilla. We've got a nice little base about 1.5 kilometres from town, Casa Galileo, which we found on Airbnb. We've got a little outside area where I'll have lunch each day, a big kitchen where Zippy's been preparing food, and a nice little outdoor terrace where Mickey's been working on the bikes. But all in all, it's a pretty comfortable little place, and it's basically home for the next 10-12 days, so yeah, it's got to be comfortable. I'm nervous. I always get nervous before these things, and I think it's natural. I think it's a good thing, but I really want to start. I've been preparing for this for so long now. It's been in my mind, I've been visualising what's going to happen. I'm ready to get on the bike and start. And even these last 2 days being here, hopping on the bike for an hour and a half each day, I've immediately felt a sense of comfort. I've relaxed. And so when the alarm goes off tomorrow morning at 1 AM and I kit up, eat my breakfast and set off, I'll set off confident that the next week will be a success. All right, it is Monday, 28th of September. 1:58 AM, and we're about to undertake the 7-day world record. So just starting the stopwatches in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go.
Molt bé.
Molt bé, molt bé.
1:59. Book it.
All right, ready, boys?
Yeah, we'll catch up.
All right, adios.
Adios. I could race, I could do ultra events and compete against others, but it doesn't really excite me. It doesn't inspire me, and I feel no draw to lining up on a start line and going to battle with other humans. Conquering this world record is going to be a challenge just like that which I experienced in my mind, and that's it. If I actually break it down, it's a hell of a lot easier. I sit on a seat, I clip in, and I just turn my legs. Left, right, hour after hour. It's meditative, it's therapeutic, it's nothing like fighting my own inner demons. So why Sevilla? Well, the south of Spain, particularly the Sevilla area, is probably the flattest part of Spain. Where we are here in Girona, it is hilly, and believe it or not, using the commute platform, everywhere else in Spain seems to be hilly, aside from the far south. So I've planned a 250 kilometre circuit, and the plan is to essentially ride that circuit 2 times a day, to log 500 kilometres each day. I decided I wanted to try and pick something that was going to allow me to stay within Spain. So if COVID becomes an issue again, it's not like I'm relying on having to travel on an aeroplane anywhere. I'll drive to the south of Spain and undertake the challenge.
Day 1 done.
In the books.
Finito. In the books. Let's just save this.
My name is Zippy. I'm Irish, currently living in Girona. I work as a cycling guide. Due to the pandemic this year, I guess we were not quite as busy, so the bulk of my work for this year has been coaching.
So I guess I've been riding bikes since 1987. I was pretty handy at sprinting, so won a few races back then. The training and everything got more serious, and kind of racing at elite level was obviously much harder, but I enjoyed that. Around that time I moved to Dublin and started working as a bike messenger there as well, so that was fun.
So I guess the reason I'm here this week is to look after Jack's nutritional needs and his recovery from the massage and stuff. In terms of the records that have been broken this week, apart from breaking a record for the most kilometres cycled, he's also going to break a record for the most calories eaten a day. So we just want to keep on top of his requirements every day. Jack weighs about 80 kilos, so his base metabolic rate is going to be about over 2,000 if he was doing nothing. And then if you add on 20 hours of biking, 7, 8, maybe 900 calories per hour for Jack. It's a considerable amount of food. Normally you'd be trying to eat half of that every hour, half of what you're burning every hour. But with this, we're not eating for today, we're eating for tomorrow as well.
The challenge itself, while physical, can be broken down, I think, into a couple of different segments. So there's obviously the physical component, then there's the mental aspect, and then there's the third aspect. And I think the aspect that is probably most important, and that's the amount of calories you have to eat. And so what's really important about this challenge is that I can fuel myself well.
I don't understand this, like we're opportunity now to go much faster. Carry speed, there's no pedals.
For me, I don't personally want to be coming home in a state of, bonking. because every hour I'm not sleeping or I'm not on the bike is an hour I'm wasting. Is an hour I'm wasting. I remember on day 2, and even you picked up on it, like when I was riding, I spent a lot of time out of the saddle, like I couldn't get comfy on day 2.
I knew you were fairly empty, like you were more empty than you should have been.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're really behind in terms. We were ahead on kilometres, we were ahead on time, but we were really far behind on calories.
Yeah.
And it took us like 2 or 3 days of gradually getting your energy back up to the point where your actual hunger came back.
Alright, it is Wednesday, September 30th. We are 40 hours plus 49 hours, 6 minutes 32 seconds in. And it is 3:05 AM. And we're about to roll out for the start of day 3.
Can you bring my gloves, please, Zippy? The number of kilometres ridden in a 1 week period has always been a yardstick for the week of training I've done on the bike. 500 kilometres was a big week as a kid, and 1,000 kilometres was huge. The idea of breaking the world record for the most kilometres ridden across 7 days is something that all cyclists can relate to, and for this reason, there's a great sense of appeal in ticking this one off the list. As kids, we all rode bikes, and this afforded us a sense of freedom. As an adult now, I can relate to that same sense of freedom I felt as a child, and for me that's pretty special. I have obsessive tendencies. I am obsessive compulsive, diagnosed, and I developed an obsessive addiction to drugs in, I forget the year now, 2010. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I wouldn't change that part of my life. It shaped me into being the person that I am today, but it's taken me down some tough roads, roads that I wouldn't wish other people stumble upon. Having recovered from that, I now feel as though speed bumps that get in my way, be that in normal life or on the bike, they don't really bother me. I mean, it would be unrealistic to say that I'm not bothered by anything anymore, but these difficult times that I've been through have really helped me to put things into perspective. All I'm really doing is riding a bike. I'm going to be a little bit sleep deprived for 7 days, and all I have to do is left, right, hour after hour for 7 days, and if I can do that, I will come away with a world record. That's the way I am approaching this. I'm not looking upon it as though, oh my God, I've got to ride 500 kilometres a day. I'm looking upon it as though all I have to do is ride a bike.
We're all getting here at the same time. Where'd you go?
So day 4, I think it was the day it was horrendous weather, 40 kilometre-hour winds, and forecast was for rain. Not a day you want to be on the bike for 500 kilometres.
Oh, no, and I was just thinking out loud, I guess.
But there's one point during that day that I remember really well, and the course we were riding essentially had a climb up to a water tower. So you'd climb up to the water tower and then you could see all the cotton fields. And it was just a big plain below that you'd descend into. And I remember summiting to the water tower and looking out and just seeing the big rain storm coming toward the winds, blockhead winds. I knew it was coming towards me. And I remember saying to myself, like, is this all you've got for me, weather? Like, fucking come on, give it to me. Like, you know, if you're gonna throw some curveballs, then fucking why not throw more? And so I zipped up the rain jacket and I descended into the rain, ready to fucking battle. And I battled through the rain for about 10 kilometres, and then, believe it or not, within 10 kilometres the rain was behind me and in front of me was blue skies again. And for me it was like this sense of, you know, it's like within your mind, like you have these difficult times that you want to overcome something and you don't know how long it's going to last, but if you just buckle up the seatbelt and strap in and get stuck into it, then there's always light on the other side. And for me, this was like a powerful way of, like, when I got through the other side of that storm, or that rain, or whatever you want to call it, it was like a great sense of satisfaction. Like, you know, I tackled this beast by the horns and I got through the other side. And it reminded me of, you know, when I was younger, suffering and different difficult times that I've been through. When I finally came out the other side, it was almost like a metaphor for things that I've dealt with in the past, and I think it's a nice way for others or those that are watching to get their head around things. You know, just buckle in and get stuck into it and you'll come out the other side. I left conventional work in 2015. I wasn't happy, I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, and off the back of my first ultra event in Europe, the Transcontinental race, I decided that I wanted to make a living out of riding my bike and doing ultra style things on the bike. So I completed the Transcontinental in 2014, the year before I quit, and essentially I got back from that trip. First day back at work, I said, look guys, I'm handing in my notice. I no longer enjoy this. I actually want to do something I enjoy. And over the past 4 or 5 years, I've sort of worked my way doing different things, working with tourism boards and running tours around the world, to the point that I am now, where I'm based in Spain and undertaking challenges every year and working with different brands. And yeah, it's a bit of a dream existence. I have to pinch myself sometimes, and you know, I really think how lucky I actually am.
Hola, buenas. My name's Miqui. I am from Girona. Met Jack last year. Like, I've heard about Jack, he heard about me, and then finally we met at the cycling event. We've done a few things together. And yeah, he mentioned the world record thing, and I was like, all right, let's do it. I've worked as a cycling mechanic for a long time, so here to help Jack with the bikes and stuff. Currently, I'm working for Trek Travel, which is a vacation cycling company. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of experience giving people support, and yeah, hope we get this world record. So my history in cycling, well, I started riding bikes in 2016, I think. And it all started because I wanted to race a thing called the Red Hook criterium, which is fixed gear racing. And yeah, I heard about that. I saw a couple of videos and I was like, I really want to race that. So got myself a bike, started riding. Yeah, I've raced that for 3 years, and that's my racing background. Just racing bikes all over the world with no gears and no brakes, and crashing a lot.
We actually chose Sevilla as the base because it was the only flat area in Spain, or so we thought. I'd planned, it was essentially 137 kilometres out, 137 kilometres back, and I was going to do that 2 times. The total amount of elevation was supposed to be 1,600 metres throughout the day. And I thought, you know what, it's more than I should be doing, but it's manageable. It was hillier than what we thought, and when we actually changed the course, so we changed the course from the out and back to a shorter 40-kilometre loop for actually a number of reasons. One was because it gave better protection from the wind. It was a lot windier than I thought it was going to be in what was forecast. It was a lot hotter and a lot cooler in the mornings. So what it meant is that I was actually coming past the house essentially every lap. So if needed, I could get things from the house. But what this also meant was that there was a lot more elevation, and so the final days, I think it was the final 3 days or 4 days when we just did the shorter 40-kilometre course, it was logging 2,700 plus metres of elevation in the day, which is, you know, it's too much to be doing when you're doing that volume of kilometres. We essentially came to day 7, the final day of the record, with, I think we only needed 293 kilometres to break the existing record.
294, I think it was.
And the forecast was actually for good weather. So we woke up, I was sort of ready to get up and go and get it done. And yeah, we got up and got stuck into it.
Ready?
There's vegetables growing, you've got, you know, grapes growing, and then you've got these cotton fields which are just incredible to look at. Because I actually hadn't touched any cotton for the whole week. I thought I'm actually going to save that sensation until when I finished. So on the last lap coming around, I saw the car and I thought, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to actually walk into the fields and like grab a little bit of cotton, and it feels just like a cotton bud that you'd use to clean your ears or to clean your makeup off. And I hadn't actually computed in my mind that that's what the stuff I'd been seeing on the ground was until yesterday. So I've been riding around these cotton fields, not actually knowing what it was used for 6 days. So yeah, I unlocked the mystery at the end of the week.
All I know is I watched some promotional videos that really empowered me and motivated me, and that was all talk about 3.5. That's all I heard. 3.5. Nobody was shouting on about 3.4 in those. I mean, that's what I said to you. Are you Jack ultracyclist or are you Jack Sunday cyclist? Keep the legs busy. Keep the fucking wheels turning, and that's it. Simple.
We pulled you in before you broke the existing record. I think we pulled you in like 80 or 90 kilometres short of that because he wanted to stop. He was struggling, and we pulled you in so that we knew we had to go back out again then. And it was like fuel him up, and there were plenty of hours left, and it was back out again then to log the 3.5 or more.
The difficult thing for me was that, so yeah, we changed the course day 4 or 5 and started doing
40
kilometre loops. So what it meant was that every day I'd do 12 or 13 40 kilometre loops. And so coming back to day 7, I'd done so many of these 40 kilometre loops that I was actually bored of riding the same course, and like I knew it so well. Like in my mind, I knew it was 2 kilometres to this corner and 1 kilometre here and 400 metres to there. Like I've just had so much time to fucking think about it that I was, I was well and truly over it. But glad we pushed on.
It was a big relief when you had cracked the 3.5, and then there was that sense of you wanted to celebrate it. Like,
Yeah.
So it was,
And we stopped, and I thought,
I already got pissed.
we basically got to the house, and I still needed to do 10 kilometres or something. So we sort of went back out on the course, and then and we sort of got to the end point, and then the car was stopped there, and I was like, oh, have we finished yet, or like, is that it? And the boys got out some champagne, and we got some like cracking photos celebrating, and it's been really cool. It was such a good feeling, like, yeah, like thinking back, like that was like one of the best feelings I've ever had. I'm doing it for you guys because I genuinely want to help. We all suffer at some point during our life, be it for a day here or there, a few hours. Some of us, like me, have been suffering with depression now for 17 years. I have depression too. You are not alone. I'm always here to chat, so drop me a message on Instagram. I'm happy to chat with anyone. I just want to help. What I've experienced this week is that if you support yourself with a network of people around you, that you can achieve great things and you can come out the other side of a difficult time. So in closing, I want you to know that it's okay not to be okay. I'm incredibly lucky to have the sponsors that I do, which allow me to do these crazy things and share a message that it's okay not to be okay and that you are not alone. Specialised, BBB Cycling, Velocio, Wahoo, Fast Forward, R3 Protein and SOS. Without these guys, none of what I do is possible. And so, yeah, in wrapping things up, I want to say a big thanks to those guys. A big thanks to everyone that supported me this week and supports me outside of these challenges, family, friends, or loved ones. Whether I know you or not, or you've sent me a message or commented, a big thank you, because this sort of stuff helps to push me through difficult times. And yeah, it's a surreal feeling. I haven't yet got my head around it, but I think with time it will come. So until next time, stay well.